Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter-dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever released as part of the United States 50 State Quarters program, the Kentucky State Quarter from the year 2001. This coin might look ordinary at first glance, but what if I told you that one special version of this quarter could be worth a life-changing amount of money? Stick with me until the end, because you'll want to know what to look for. Your Kentucky quarter might just be a rare gem worth a fortune. The Kentucky State Quarter was released in 2001 as the 15th design in the 50 State Quarters series, which began in 1999. Each state got its own design to celebrate its history and identity, and Kentucky's design perfectly captures the spirit of the bluegrass state. On one side, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, the face that's been on the quarter since 1932. But it's the reverse side that truly tells Kentucky's story. The design features Federal Hill, famously known as My Old Kentucky Home, the inspiration for the state song. In front of the mansion stands a magnificent thoroughbred horse behind a fence, symbolizing Kentucky's rich horse racing tradition and its pride as the horse capital of the world. Now, here's where things get fascinating for collectors. While millions of Kentucky quarters were minted for circulation, not all of them are created equal. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions, but some of the rarest and most valuable versions come from the San Francisco Mint, especially those struck as proof coins. These proof quarters were made for collectors using specially polished dies and high-quality planchets, giving them a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. Finding one of these in flawless condition can already add value, but that's just the beginning. The real treasure lies in the rare minting errors and variations that slipped through the quality checks. These are the coins that collectors dream of finding. Some Kentucky State Quarters have been discovered with double die errors, meaning parts of the design, like the text or details of the horse and mansion, appear slightly doubled. This happens when the die strikes the coin more than once in a misaligned position, creating a fascinating and valuable visual effect. Another incredible error found on a few Kentucky quarters is the off-center strike. In this error, the image isn't perfectly centered on the coin. It's shifted, leaving part of the design missing and sometimes even the rim incomplete. Off-center strikes are extremely sought after by collectors, especially when the misalignment is significant but the date and design are still visible. Each one of these mistakes makes the coin completely unique. No two are exactly alike, which adds to the intrigue and value. Then there's one of the most elusive and valuable errors of all, the clipped planchet. This occurs when a small portion of the coin's metal blank is missing before it's struck, leaving a crescent-shaped cut on the edge of the coin. These errors are rare in modern minting, and when they appear on state quarters, especially in good condition, they can command incredible prices from collectors. But rarity isn't just about mint errors. Even a regular Kentucky quarter can become valuable if it's in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state. Coins graded MS 67 or higher by professional grading services are considered exceptional. The sharpness of the details, the shine of the surface, and the lack of scratches all make a huge difference. Many quarters in circulation get scratched or worn down quickly, so finding one that looks fresh off the minting press is a true prize. Collectors around the world love the Kentucky State Quarter not only because of its design, but also because it represents a piece of American history. A reminder of the time when each state proudly showcased its heritage through this national coin program. The attention to detail, the story behind the imagery, and the chance of discovering a rare variant make it a favorite among numismatists and casual collectors alike. Imagine this. You're going through your old coin jar or counting change from the store, and you notice a shiny Kentucky quarter. Maybe it has a small doubling near the horse's mane or a tiny misalignment in the lettering. That small imperfection could be the sign of a minting error worth far more than 25 cents. Stories have surfaced of collectors and even lucky finders discovering error quarters worth thousands, all from the same 2001 Kentucky release. So next time you come across one of these coins, take a closer look. Hold it under good light, examine the edges, and look for unusual details or misprints. A magnifying glass can help you spot those subtle but valuable differences that set a rare coin apart from a regular one. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The top recorded value for a rare Kentucky State quarter from 2001, found in near-perfect condition with a minting error, reached an astonishing $86,000. That's right, $86,000 for a single quarter. Just imagine, a coin that most people spend without a second thought could actually be worth more than a brand new car. So don't ignore your spare change. Check every coin carefully, because you never know when you might be holding a hidden piece of American history worth a small fortune. Top 2, we're going to explore one of the most talked about coins in the entire 50-state quarter series, the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter. This coin may look like an ordinary 25-cent piece, but there's a secret behind it that has made it one of the most desirable and valuable quarters in modern American coin history. So sit back, listen carefully, and don't skip a second, because the coin in your hand could be worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. The Wisconsin State Quarter was released in 2004 as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a collection that celebrated each of the 50 states with its own unique design. Wisconsin's quarter proudly represents the state's agricultural heritage and its identity as America's dairyland. The design on the reverse side showcases a cow, symbolizing Wisconsin's world-famous dairy industry, along with a round of cheese and an ear of corn. Just above the design are the words "Forward," Wisconsin's state motto, representing progress and strength at a first glance. The design seems simple and charming, but behind that humble cow and ear of corn hides one of the most fascinating minting mysteries in modern numismatics. In late 2004, collectors and coin dealers began noticing something unusual about certain Wisconsin quarters that came from the Denver Mint. Upon closer inspection, they found that some of these coins featured a peculiar difference in the ear of corn on the reverse side. This discovery would change the way collectors looked at the Wisconsin quarter forever. Normally, the ear of corn on the Wisconsin quarter has one clean leaf extending from its left side. But on some rare coins, a tiny but noticeable extra leaf appears. One version shows an extra high leaf, and another shows an extra low leaf. These additional leaves were never part of the original design, and to this day, experts still debate how they came to be. Some believe they were created accidentally when the metal stamp used to strike the coin, was damaged or altered. Others suspect it might have been an intentional modification by a mint worker. Whatever the cause, these extra leaf varieties turned an ordinary quarter into one of the most famous and valuable coins of the entire state series. These error quarters were discovered mostly in rolls of coins distributed in the states of Arizona and New Mexico, far from Wisconsin itself. Once the discovery spread among collectors, demand skyrocketed. People rushed to banks and stores, examining every Wisconsin quarter they could find. Within weeks, the extra leaf varieties became national news, and even non-collectors began searching through their change, hoping to strike gold. Now let's talk about why these coins became so valuable. The rarity of an error coin depends on how many were accidentally produced before the problem was caught. In the case of the Wisconsin extra leaf quarters, only a very small number escaped into circulation before the dies were replaced. Because of that, these coins are considered extremely scarce. While millions of regular Wisconsin quarters were minted, only a few thousand of the extra leaf varieties are believed to exist. Combine that rarity with the enormous public interest in the state quarter program, and you've got a perfect recipe for collector frenzy. But condition plays a huge role in determining just how valuable a coin can be. A heavily circulated extra leaf Wisconsin quarter might still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but coins that have never been used, what collectors call mint state condition, can command truly astonishing prices. These uncirculated examples show crisp detail, brilliant shine, and no signs of wear. Collectors will pay a premium for a coin that looks like it just came off the press. There are two main types of extra leaf errors: the extra high leaf, where the leaf extends upward near the center of the ear of corn, and the extra low leaf, where it droops closer to the bottom. Both are rare, but some reports suggest that the low leaf variety is slightly scarcer, making it even more valuable to serious collectors. These tiny differences make a huge impact on price. That's the power of rarity and demand in the world of coin collecting. So, how can you check if your Wisconsin quarter is one of these rare treasures? Start by flipping the coin to the reverse side and carefully examining the ear of corn to the right of the cow. Look closely near the bottom of the ear. If you notice an extra leaf either pointing upward or downward from the corn husk, you might be holding something truly extraordinary. Using a magnifying glass or a high-quality photo can help you spot these tiny details more easily. Stories continue to circulate among collectors and lucky finders who discovered one of these extra leaf quarters in their everyday change, sometimes tucked away in a drawer, a jar, or even handed back as change at a grocery store. Each one found feels like uncovering a piece of hidden American treasure. The Wisconsin quarter story reminds us why coin collecting is so fascinating. It's not just about money. It's about discovery, history, and attention to detail. Every coin tells a story, and this one tells a story of a tiny mistake that turned into a legendary collectible. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can a rare 2004 Wisconsin state quarter with an extra leaf be worth? In pristine, uncirculated condition, one of these incredible coins has been valued at an astonishing $84,000. Yes, you heard that right. $84,000 for a single quarter that most people would never think twice about spending. So next time you come across a Wisconsin state quarter, don't overlook it. Take a careful look at that ear of corn, because your pocket change might just be hiding one of the rarest and most valuable quarters ever struck. Top 3, we're taking a closer look at one of the most fascinating and modern pieces in the the Beautiful Quarters series, the 2016 Shawnee State Quarter from the United States of America. This coin, part of a stunning collection that celebrates national parks and landmarks, has quickly become one of the most sought-after coins among collectors. You might think a coin from just a few years ago couldn't be worth much, but what if I told you that one special version of this quarter could be worth a jaw-dropping amount of money? Stay tuned until the end, because you'll want to know what to look for. Your pocket change might just be hiding a fortune. The Shawnee National Forest Quarter was released in 2016, representing the state of Illinois in the the Beautiful series. Each coin in this program highlighted a different national park or historical site across the United States, and Shawnee was chosen for its breathtaking natural beauty and deep historical roots. The forest covers over 280,000 acres of land and is known for its incredible rock formations, rugged cliffs, and lush woodlands that capture the heart of the Midwest. The design of the Shawnee Quarter is a true masterpiece. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, which has graced the quarter since 1932. But the reverse side is where the magic happens. The coin features Camel Rock, one of the most famous and iconic formations in the Shawnee National Forest, standing proudly in the center. Perched near the rock is a majestic red-tailed hawk, symbolizing freedom, strength, and nature's beauty. The details of the rock layers, the bird's feathers, and the surrounding landscape give this coin a unique and stunning appearance. Now, let's talk about why this particular coin has gained so much attention among collectors and why some versions have become extremely valuable. Millions of Shawnee quarters were produced by the U.S. Mint, but not all were made perfectly. During the minting process, a small number of errors occurred, resulting in some rare and highly collectible varieties. These minting errors are what turn an ordinary coin into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. One of the most famous types of errors found on the 2016 Shawnee Quarter is the double die error. This happens when the die strikes the coin twice, slightly out of alignment. You can often spot it by carefully examining the text or design. Look for doubled lines or blurred edges around the words Shawnee, Illinois, or E pluribus unum. These small details might look like imperfections, but they're actually what make the coin incredibly valuable. Another rare error seen on some of these coins is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to shift and leaving empty space on one edge. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially if the date and lettering are still visible. Some Shawnee quarters also show die cracks, fine raised lines that appear on the surface of the coin due to stress or damage to the die. These cracks can sometimes run through the hawk or across Camel Rock, giving each error coin a unique appearance. No two are exactly alike. which makes them even more desirable to serious collectors. Then there's the famous silver planchet error, an extremely rare mistake where a few quarters were accidentally struck on planchets intended for silver collector editions instead of regular clad circulation coins. These silver error quarters are nearly impossible to find in pocket change, but they've been reported and verified by grading companies, selling for extraordinary prices. Of course, condition matters just as much as rarity. A shiny quarter found in circulation with heavy wear might only be worth face value, but one that's been preserved in mint state condition can command a serious premium. Coins graded MS 67 or higher, meaning they show virtually no flaws and have full luster, are incredibly hard to find. Add an error or variety to that, and you've got a coin that can sell for unbelievable sums. Collectors are drawn to the shiny quarter not only for its beauty, but also for its connection to nature and American history. It symbolizes the preservation of the nation's most beautiful landscapes, making it a meaningful addition to any collection. Every coin in the America the Beautiful series tells a story, and the shiny quarter stands out for its artistry, symbolism, and the mystery of its rare errors. Imagine finding one of these special quarters in your spare change, something that most people might overlook or spend without a thought. You might see just a simple 25-cent piece, but a trained eye could spot a minting mistake that turns it into a collector's dream. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part luck. So next time you get a 2016 quarter, take a moment to look closely. Examine the edges, the details on the hawk and the rock, and the lettering around the rim. Even the smallest error can turn an ordinary coin into a small fortune. Keep your eyes sharp, because some of the most valuable coins ever discovered were found by people who just paid attention. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the value reveal. A rare 2016 shiny state quarter with a minting error in pristine uncirculated condition has been valued at an incredible $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. $81,000 for a single quarter. Just imagine, something as small as a coin in your pocket could be worth more than a luxury car or even a down payment on a house. So before you spend that shiny quarter, make sure to check it, because you might just be holding a hidden piece of American treasure. We're going back to the year 2000, a time when the United States Mint was celebrating the spirit and history of the nation through the 50 state quarters program. And the spotlight today is on the Massachusetts state quarter, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but could secretly be worth a small fortune. So stay with me until the very end, because you're going to want to know what makes this particular quarter so rare, so valuable, and so incredibly exciting for collectors everywhere. The Massachusetts state quarter was the very first state quarter released in the year 2000 and the 13th coin in the 50 state quarters series. It honors the rich history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, one of the original 13 colonies and home to some of the most important moments in American independence. The coin's design perfectly captures the spirit of courage and freedom that defines this historic state. On the reverse side, you'll see a striking image of a colonial soldier, known as the Minuteman, standing proudly with his musket in hand. Behind him is the outline of the state of Massachusetts, and above it, the word Massachusetts is engraved boldly with the phrase, "the Bay State." The design was inspired by the Minuteman statue that stands at the Minuteman National Historical Park in Concord, Massachusetts, a powerful symbol of the ordinary citizens who took up arms during the American Revolution. The obverse side, as always, features the timeless portrait of George Washington. But what truly fascinates coin collectors and enthusiasts is not just the beauty or history behind this coin, but the unexpected errors and variations that make some of these Massachusetts quarters extremely rare and valuable. These small imperfections, often invisible to the untrained eye, are what turn an ordinary 25-cent piece into a collector's dream point. One of the most famous errors found on the 2000 Massachusetts quarter is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment, creating a doubled image on certain details like the lettering or even Washington's face. Under close inspection, you might see the words United States of America or Liberty appearing slightly shadowed or doubled, a clear sign of a minting error. These double die quarters are very rare, and depending on the clarity of the doubling, they can fetch thousands of dollars in the collector's market. Another incredible error is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to shift and leaving a portion of the coin blank. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date and major details are still visible. Collectors go crazy for coins like these because each one is unique. No two off-center strikes are ever identical. There are also a few Massachusetts quarters known to have die cracks and die chips. These small raised lines or lumps of metal appear when the die used to stamp the coins becomes worn or damaged. On some examples, you might find a visible crack running through the Minuteman's musket or across the map of Massachusetts. These imperfections give each coin character and make them stand out from the millions of regular issues. But perhaps the rarest and most exciting discovery among Massachusetts quarters is the so-called wrong planchet error. This happens when the design of the quarter is accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination, such as a dime or a nickel. These errors are extremely rare and can only occur from a major minting oversight. Imagine holding a Massachusetts quarter that's smaller, lighter, or even a different color than normal. That's the kind of unique piece that collectors will pay huge sums to own. Even without an error, condition plays a massive role in determining a coin's value. Coins graded by professional services as MS 67 or higher, meaning they have a flawless, mirror-like surface and sharp details, are considered gems in the collecting world. The Massachusetts state quarter was produced in the hundreds of millions, but most were circulated and show signs of wear. Finding one in perfect mint condition is incredibly rare and makes all the difference in its price. Now, let's talk about why collectors love this coin so much. Beyond its historical importance and patriotic design, the Massachusetts quarter symbolizes the start of a new millennium, the year 2000, a milestone that makes it even more special to own. For coin lovers, this piece represents not just the story of one state, but the broader journey of America's heritage, artistry, and craftsmanship in coinage. Many collectors have shared stories of discovering rare Massachusetts quarters in old collections, change jars, or even right from pocket change. The thrill of spotting a minting error or pristine condition coin is what makes this hobby so addictive. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story leads straight to a treasured SO. What should you look for if you happen to come across a Massachusetts state quarter? Check the details carefully. Look for doubled lettering, off-center designs, strange cracks, or coins that seem lighter or smaller than normal. Keep your eyes open and your magnifying glass ready, because even a tiny imperfection can make an enormous difference in value. And now, for the most exciting part, the value reveal. A rare 2000 Massachusetts state quarter, found in mint condition with a unique minting error, has been valued at an incredible $79,000. Yes, you heard that right. $79,000 for a single quarter that you might have in your pocket right now. Just imagine turning an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. So before you spend your next quarter, take a moment to look closely, because that little piece of American history might just be worth more than you ever dreamed. Top 5, we're taking a journey to the Great Plains, to the state of Nebraska, to explore one of the most beautiful and mysterious coins from the U.S. 50 State Quarters program, the Nebraska State Quarter from 2006. Don't let its simple appearance fool you, because some of these coins hold a secret that could make them worth an unbelievable amount of money. Stay tuned until the very end, because the story behind this coin is something every collector and coin enthusiast needs to hear. The Nebraska State Quarter was released in 2006 as the 37th coin in the famous 50 State Quarters series. It celebrates Nebraska's rich history, culture, and the pioneering spirit that helped shape the American West. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find one of the most striking designs in the entire series. Chimney Rock rising proudly against the sky, with a covered wagon and oxen traveling westward below it. Above the scene, the word Nebraska is engraved, along with the year the state joined the Union, 1867, and the state's proud nickname, Chimney Rock. This design perfectly captures the heart of the westward expansion, the courage of early settlers, and the natural beauty of Nebraska's vast plains. The obverse side, as always, features the timeless portrait of George Washington, first introduced on the quarter in 1932. But while most Nebraska quarters are worth their face value of just 25 cents, A rare few contain minting errors and unique characteristics that have made them worth thousands, even tens of thousands, of dollars. Let's take a closer look at what makes some of these Nebraska quarters so special. During the minting process, millions of coins are struck every year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. However, not all of them come out perfect. Some coins have flaws, and in the world of coin collecting, those flaws are treasures. One of the most famous and valuable types of error found on the 2006 Nebraska State Quarter is the double die error. This happens when the coin die, the tool used to stamp the design, strikes the blank planchet more than once in a slightly misaligned position. The result is a doubling of the image or lettering. On some Nebraska quarters, collectors have spotted doubling on the words Nebraska 1867, or even along the edges of Chimney Rock itself. These doubled details can be subtle, but under magnification, they're unmistakable and extremely valuable. Another fascinating error that appears on some of these coins is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned during minting, causing the design to shift noticeably toward one edge. The more off-center the strike, the rarer the coin becomes, especially if both the date and mint mark are still visible. Off-center Nebraska quarters with a clear, bold shift can command very high prices from collectors eager to add something unique to their collections. Then there's the clipped planchet error, one of the most interesting types of minting mistakes. This happens when the metal sheet used to create coin blanks overlaps slightly during cutting, resulting in coins that are missing a curved section along the edge. A Nebraska quarter with a visible clipped planchet and a strong strike on the remaining surface is a true collector's prize, and values for these rare pieces have climbed steadily over the years. Some Nebraska State quarters have also been found with die cracks, thin raised lines that run across the coin's surface when the die begins to wear out or break. These can appear near the covered wagon, around Chimney Rock, or even through the lettering. Each die crack is different, which means every coin affected is truly one of a kind. These small imperfections tell a story about the coin's creation and make it even more desirable for collectors who love the art and history behind minting. But perhaps the rarest Nebraska quarters of all are the ones struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally made on metal intended for another coin, like a dime or a foreign denomination. These are extremely rare errors, and their odd size, color, or weight gives them away immediately. Finding one of these is like striking gold in the world of coin collecting. Of course, not all Nebraska quarters are valuable because of errors alone. Condition plays a massive role in determining how much a coin is worth. Coins that have been in circulation for years tend to get scratched, faded, or worn down, which lowers their value. But coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, what collectors call mint state, are much harder to find. A Nebraska State quarter graded MS 67 or higher by professional services can sell for hundreds or even thousands, even without any visible errors. The combination of rarity, beauty, and condition is what drives collectors wild. Why is the Nebraska quarter so loved among collectors? It's because it beautifully captures the story of America's westward journey, and because it represents a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins that celebrated the uniqueness of every state. It's also one of the coins that keeps surprising collectors. Just when you think you've seen them all, another error variety or high-grade example appears, commanding astonishing prices at auctions. Imagine this. You're sorting through your change or looking at an old coin jar, and you spot a Nebraska quarter from 2006. You take a closer look, maybe with a magnifying glass, and notice a small doubling on the text or a slight misalignment in the strike. That tiny detail could be the difference between 25 cents and thousands of dollars. That's what makes this hobby so thrilling. The excitement of discovery, the possibility that a small piece of metal could hold a big secret. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for, the ultimate value reveal. A rare 2006 Nebraska State quarter, found in flawless mint condition with a dramatic error, has been valued at an incredible $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $75,000 for a single quarter. Just imagine, a coin you might overlook or spend on a snack could actually be worth more than a brand new luxury car. So before you pass that quarter along, take a moment to look closely. You could be holding a piece of American history worth a life-changing amount of money. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey into the story of the Nebraska State Quarter. If you enjoyed this video and loved discovering the hidden treasures in your change, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another rare coin story. Until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and who knows, maybe your next coin find will be worth a fortune.